Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. In this video we're going to be going over the Scotsman's skills. I did do a first look video of this character previously, so I'm not going to break down the character in depth. If you want to go and check out that video, you should be able to see a link in the top right hand corner, just giving my first impressions of this character. But I didn't get a chance to actually be able to play with this character before release. But now I have got the chance. So we're going to look at basically how his rush, active, specialist skill, his weapon, you know, his sort of utility on attack and defense, how he's going to work basically. So we'll first look at his rush. And the part really that I wanted to know was, if I took down two characters with that line attack, would it impair two extra characters, or would it have only impaired those characters, and if they're eliminated then the impair is basically useless? So we're going to check out this first. Okay, so this is the first turn, and because of his active, I can just command rush him straight away. We're going to take out the bottom line of characters. We should be able to take out the bottom line of characters. And this is just to see if Storm, AJ, or Malcolm get impaired. If they get impaired, the impair part of his rush is actually pretty good. If they don't, it's mainly going to be useful against characters like Outlast characters, where it would impair them so they can't rush on their Outlast turn. But we'll just take out the bottom turn, and it is indeed going to impair two extra characters outside of the takedown, and that makes this much more powerful because it does it this way. Okay, so we're going to go over this once more, and this is just to show you what happens if there is an Outlast character that you take down. We're just going to obviously active command rush him. We'll take down this line. We'll take out Noor just like we did before, and Tanya should be taken out as well. She is quite defensive, but this is, I've put a different weapon in his hands to do as much attack as possible. I think he's got like 15k attack right now. Extra 1535 weapon could obviously boost that, but we're going to take out the line, and as you can see, she gets impaired, and that's going to be for her Outlast turn. And then we've got one other character that gets impaired, which is going to be AJ. So I'm going to just try and do a basic attack, and you're going to see when it comes to Tanya's Outlast turn, she is impaired. So that's going to be very useful against Outlast characters. It will be quite important to put Outlast characters in a line with, let's say, payback characters. I know there is pretty much only like 2 payback characters that you can do that with, but that will stop this early rush, sort of like a small counter, but that's pretty much all you can do in that situation. Otherwise, very, very heavy first turn damage now. So the rush has gone from pretty decent to very effective, because you've got very high damage output, but also the 2-turn control to 2 surviving enemies is just massively boosted the power of this. You know, you've got one character effectively after the first turn that can gain any AP. That's going to be a big, big boost. It's not going to stop actives or anything like that, but impair for 2 turns, very powerful. Now, how I've got the Scotsman geared right now is very offensive, just to do as much damage. This would be more of an attack team sort of setup, where he's got an offensive weapon and he's got offensive mods. If I was to use him on a defense team, I would use like Daze Resist and Taunt Resist to slop the early control of him, because he is someone who's going to rush turn 1. I would still keep everything on him offensive, however, because him getting taken down isn't too big of a deal. He's got quite a nice specialist skill, and the 3rd slot on his base weapon is actually pretty good. So that's what we're going to look at next. Basically how the base weapon works. We'll have to just check it out here. When being attacked, if this character is taken down, teammates regain 100% of their max HP and recover from bleed, burn, and maim. But the big bonus on top of this is, because he's got retribution, they'll also gain 50% AP, which is obviously not listed here, but they will gain 50% AP because of his specialist skill. When this character is taken down, all of the character's surviving teammates will immediately receive 50% of their max AP. So it's like added bonus on top of that weapon. But the big issue with that weapon is the fact that he is an open window for AP gain. So you've got to really kind of like decide where you're going to go here, and that's why I think making him really offensive, so that if he is attacked, he basically should get taken out, is a good way to go. Okay, so we are on the first turn, and we have got Andrea a first turn rush. Andrea definitely can get a first turn natural rush. If you haven't checked her out, there is a link to a video of me doing a first look gameplay video of her as well. Very powerful character, can be utilized extremely well to get those early rushes off, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to rush this bottom line, and it will take out these 2 characters because she has got 1000% to a line. But we have got bleed on both Priya and AJ, just to show you that it will cleanse these effects. So we're going to put a bleed and on Rick and the bear, and we're going to hopefully see those 2 things get cleansed, and the AP should be obviously boosted, and you'll see their HP, while they haven't even taken a bit of HP damage, they'll get healed because of this as well. So we'll take out the bottom line with the rush. Here comes the takedown. You'll see the heals come in, the AP come towards the characters that do not have the impair. As we saw, Ivanova was impaired, so she could not rush and she could not gain any AP. Now you saw that the command rush came in of the bear, and you see when you get 50% AP, the next turn you're almost guaranteed to get a command rush out of somebody there. And that's what makes this guy so powerful if he's taken out first turn. If you ignore him on the first turn with that active, he's going to active command rush, and we'll see what that's like on a defense team next. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same attack again, exactly the same team, but it is against a bit more of a buffed up defense team. It's actually a defense team leader this time. 50% attack down, I'm going to do less damage, and there are also payback characters in the lines of characters, so I have to attack the central character of Andrea. I will most likely take him down even with the 50% attack down, because she's going to do bonus damage because of her specialist skill, because he's got some debilitating effects on him, so she will do bonus damage. Also, it's going to be trait damage, so she will most likely take him down. She's actually not going to take him down. It must be really close. Really close. So I can finish him off, and we're going to just do that. Now, I could obviously daze this character if my prayer had a daze weapon, but we aren't going to do that. I have actually got a daze weapon, but we aren't going to do that because I want to just show you what his rush is going to be like as a first turn command rush. So we're going to see him do his active. He should be commanded as well, and he should take out a line. He is indeed going to take out a line. And that is what he is going to bring to the table. It is also worth mentioning, because of the way that commands work, when a character gets commanded, the cooldown of that active lasts an extra turn, because when you are in the sort of wait turn, after you've been commanded, you get no turn. It also doesn't cool down your active by a turn. If you've noticed this before, like with Princess on attack, if you command Princess on an attack team, you do not get to lock, or the potential lock of characters on a defense team with her taunt. That's why it's good not to command her too often, just so you can get her active going if you are, not going to be able to take out teams really, really quickly. The same is going to be said for the Scotsman on a defense team and an attack team. That's why I think it's still good to have AP on attack on this character. The first turn, he will get active command rushed. So it'll be your first turn rush. Second turn will be a cooldown because of the command. Third turn, he'll do a basic attack. Fourth turn, he'll do a basic attack. Fifth turn, he'll do a natural rush. And then sixth turn, he'll do an active command rush again. So in the first 6 turns, he'll do 3 rushes. Okay, so we're going to attack this team, and this is just to show you the sequence of that active, rush, and basic attack sequence. Just to take out this character, he's going to get decaps, so there's not going to be any revives, no missed commands, that sort of thing. And we're pretty much going to defend the entire time for everybody else. We might do some basic attacks on Rick, just to get him some AP so he's not commanding at the wrong time. So the active first turn command is going to come in with the rush. And we're going to hopefully get Rick his rush for turn 4. This is a missed turn on turn 2 because he did get commanded. And then Rick will get his rush on the next turn, which is good. There we go. And what could potentially happen right now is if Rick didn't have his rush, we could have the Scotsman get command rushed after doing a basic attack. But that's not going to happen. So this is turn 4. He's going to do a basic attack. And then he's going to have a natural turn 5 rush after doing those basic attacks. And then what can happen now is he's going to do his active, but he can maybe not get commanded sometimes. Sometimes Rick just will do his basic attack before the Scotsman does his active. It will look like the active happens first, but we'll just see. We'll just see what happens. Defend on everybody. Yeah, that's what actually happens. So he's not going to have been commanded this time around, but you can see he does do his active on turn 6, so there is potential for him to be commanded on that turn, and he'll get a natural rush turn 7. He won't obviously get a miss a turn for command. So in terms of the sequence, it doesn't slow things down. It just means he's not rushing a turn earlier when he's not commanded. It's just as simple as that. So hopefully this has given you a better idea about how the Scotsman works. If you do get your hands on this character, or if you were thinking about pulling for this character, now you know. Now you know that if he does take down 2 with that rush in a line, 2 extra enemies going to get impaired. And that part of the entire kit, like I said before, is the highlight for me, especially as he can get that rush off turn 1 on attack and defense teams. I think he's going to be very, very viable on both. But do tell me what you think about the Scotsman now you've seen how he works. Has this changed your mind on him? Were you on the fence? Have you been lucky already and managed to get him as an S-Class pull? Fingers crossed to anyone out there who is going to do a big pull for him. I think he is going to be, like I said, quite viable on certain defense teams and definitely on attack teams. The fact that he does trait damage against these Jackie teams, if you don't have your Jackie team set up properly in terms of where your characters are in lines, can definitely take out a line of characters without any problems. But that is the end of my video, guys. Do leave your comments down below if you have any thoughts. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.